Ready? The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. You know, this win is all about the kids. They played hard. I was on them a little bit because I thought we didn't practice great, but it's really hard. You know, Siena, good academic school. St. Bonaventure, you know, we've beaten them by like 1, 2, and 3, I think. Something like that for single ace, right?
8 points to 3 wins.
8 points, okay, 3 wins. So I was the Grinch the first. At halftime, I wasn't very good. I was upset that we had 13 turnovers, and they showed me by getting 12 more in the first 10 minutes. So I'm wearing this because I am the Grinch. They said, hey, it's all right. It's a 4-point game. And I'm like, you're right. So who's the little girl that the Grinch went and saw? So they were Cindy Lou, and they're like, it's okay. Everything's all right. You're actually a good person. We know we had 10 days off. We know Albany was a big win. You don't have to remind us that we celebrated when we beat Albany and that we're going to fall on our face next, okay? We're okay. And I went, oh, okay. So with 8 minutes left, I very calmly watched the game pretty much, and they won it with their defense. We were very lucky. We gave up a bad shot at the end. That was a very good play. They ran. They screened the screener. I wish Brett and Levon had switched. I've always said with 8 seconds left, it's weird whether you should foul or not. The one guy who's really good at that is Javion Oganyemi. He's good in the back. He would have yelled foul, but he was out of the game because he cramped. Because we've had 10 days off and because he's a business major, a real business major with great grades, he was studying for 10 days. So that being said, if Javion was in the back, I think single ace, he would have yelled foul with like 3 seconds left, put him on the line, etc., and you play it out. But he had cramps. Levon got over a little on the screen, but I can't lie, they had a great look, right? Was that that was what, Dion Wright who had the look, I think. And he's a great player, and I'm really glad he's graduating. Dion Wright went to overseas with Levon and Javion, I believe, and Jordan Tyson went overseas with Greg Manning. Both of them played for Greg Manning, and they went with Marquise Wright and Kenny Wormley. In other words, that team knows our team. Jalen Adams, great player. I was really upset when he got a wide open 3 because everyone on our team knows him. Levon Long was teammates with him. Nico Clarith played against him in his league. That being said, in other words, all these things factor into a great game. That was a great basketball game. What's weird is I'm in here saying, what's crazy is I'm in here saying what great games we were. It's not because we won. Mike Krzyzewski taught me that. We had beaten them once. He said great game, and we lost in overtime. They beat us in overtime in front of 40,000 people in the Georgia Dome. And he used to say, you know what, we just have great games at Maryland and Duke. We've had great games with St. Bonaventure. I'm glad we won 3 in a row, but Mark Schmidt's a friend of mine. Mark Schmidt is a fellow survivor. That means that he played for Gary Williams. I worked for Gary Williams. When you go through that, there's a common bond. That's probably a unique thing. I mean, it's not Shawshank Redemption or anything, but we did survive Gary Williams, which is an interesting thing. We golf in Coaches versus Cancer. Mark's a big part of the fundraiser we have every year. So I feel bad in a way beating them 3 times in a row by a combined 8 points, but they are great games, and we're going to continue this series. And the Albany game was a great game, and Hofstra was a great game, Manhattan was a great game. Okay, we didn't play well at St. Peter's, but we didn't quit. Cornell was a great basketball game. We lost. They hit 2 threes at the end. This is a fun team. I hope people will come out. It's fun to watch. It's a fun team. They're doing it. And our players deserve the credit for the last 8 minutes because I don't think I coached my best game. I wasn't really sure what to do coming out of break. Do you yell, not, big win? I'm always too soft after wins. Gary Williams always tells me that. He says you should be meaner after big wins because that's when they're, but I'm not like that. And we have some really good students that really did well everybody's eligible, everybody's fine. But we have some real, like Brett Bisping's a real business major. Ryan Oliver's a real business major. Jimmy Merrill he's got 2 accounting courses. I couldn't even pass one of them. Cam Godfrey's a great business student. Javion's a business student. So that's a weird time for us to come off an Albany win, have final exams that are stressful. And then the last 3 days we focused on getting ready for St. Bonnie. And they were not going to go away. Great game. I'll take any questions. Do you want to put the hat back on or no?
Please, yeah.
No.
Jimmy, with Marquise, battled through some struggles in the game. He had 9 turnovers. Did you sense any frustration, and how do you kind of overcome that and make so many big plays late, do you think?
He's little. I mean, Prosper Karanga's here who played against us at Maryland when I was the scout. It's the first time I found out how great Siena's program was when they all came to D.C. He said, wow, he's tough. He plays. He keeps grinding, and he's not that big. Probably he's a big 6'5" guy. He just looked at, he just was out. He's out there right now. He works for the Orlando Magic. He's Allen Iverson in it right now. He's taking every bump, every bang. He's playing the 2. He'll play the 1. He competes. He had a couple of blocks. He had some great rebounds. We weren't defense. He had 20, 10, 6. Okay, he had 9 turnovers. Man, he could have had a triple. That would have been a hell of a triple-double. We might have gotten Sports Illustrated for the record. Remember the little thing, single lace on the columns? Is it? I don't know. Nobody even reads. I'm the only guy that buys the paper anymore. That would have been an amazing triple-double. But he's going to get beaten, battered, and then he wants to cover the other team's best player. He's not. In other words, he's not saying, I've coached some really great players that are like, who's the worst guy I can guard? So the other 2, so I can get he's like, I'm guarding the other team's best. He wanted to guard Jalen Adams. I told him no. Because I wanted Kenny to handle, on the ball. But because he's Maryland type thing. Marquise, competitive guy, and big shots, and made his free throws. By the way, I'm not the free throw coach. I'm not taking that one.
What about the charge that Brett took? He's been taking a lot of big charges for you. It seems like he's really good at doing that. It was a key time of the game.
Another grinder. And then, Levon was right there and was going to take it too. They both were going to take the charge. Brett, I thought final exams 10 days off didn't help Brett. In other words, Brett's kind of plays his way into shape, and Brett just competes so hard that games are better for him, if that makes sense. And we play hard in practice, don't get me wrong, but when Brett Bisping plays in a game, he's all in. And so playing 11 games in 30 days is good for Brett Bisping, because he just he's like getting in game mode. We took 10 days off, so. But I thought he battled through it too. But he always takes charges. That's how we won. That's how we beat Fresno on the road down there. And I thought Levon, despite his 6 turnovers, did some good things. But Javion was really the steadying force for us. And then Nico's Nico. He's got to rebound more. I'm going to talk to Nico about rebounding more. But he still had 11 points.
How about the play Levon made when I think you're up 2 and Adams drove and he kind of came in there? Is that where you want? Is that a play where you want him to kind of gamble or help in there?
Well, we switched him to the 4. In other words, I don't want him gambling off the guards, but I want him gambling off the big men. It would have been nice if he made his little and 1, because did he miss his free throw? Yeah, that's right. So I wish that he would have been nice to go up 4, and then he makes the free throw up 5, and that would have been a little nicer. And we'll work on some stuff with Levon defensively, but Levon doesn't care. I told you before. I'm sorry I was wrong about the Star Wars thing. He does like all kinds of quirky things. I was very surprised he didn't like that. Levon he's an instinct player, and I don't really tell him what to do much. But when I said, you got 21, the big guy, and he goes, what's he doing? I said, drive right, like he's done 10 times in a row on us. And he's like, oh, okay, don't get all excited. And I'm like, did you see him drive down the lane? He's like, no, I was guarding my guy. That's Levon. But there he is, thinking he could help off a little, and did. In other words, does that make sense? He's just, okay, relax, coach. Now who am I guarding? 21. What's he do? Drives right hand. I got him. I'll step in his way. Okay. And then he just makes plays, Levon just makes. He was good at the end. He didn't panic taking the ball out either, It's tough to take the ball out at the end of the game. And he wasn't afraid. He threw it long. It was a risky pass, but they fouled Marquise, and he made both.
Last question, maybe? Anyone? Tom?
Father Kevin, do you want to wear the hat since you're in town? 4 o'clock Mass, December 24th. I'll be there.
Yeah, Jimmy, you did a lot of traveling early in the season, and now you another win at home. Do you see something from this team, kind of a toughness to pull these out?
Yeah, like I said, we could have lost that game, and there was no fault. In other words, we could have lost that game. The fall will be mine. The loss, I'll take the losses. That's a tough team. St. Bonaventure's 7-3. They're gonna do some damage in the A10, and they don't lose much out there. And they knew the cup was on the line too. They want that cup back. Don't think they know. Father Kevin's a nice guy, but they want the cup back. Yeah, they're finding ways to win. Like I said, with 8 minutes to go, I'm just like, man, we just made another turn. They're like, okay, we're playing bad. We're not playing good, but we're gonna win this game. We're gonna play man-to-man defense. We're gonna do a few things here and there, and we're going to score in transition. We're not going to run any plays. We're going to share the ball. Whoever's got the mismatch, take it, and we got to crash the offensive boards. I have to say a word with 8 minutes to go. If you check the tape, I sat down. They said we got it. That's why it made me think of the Grinch, and that's why I wore the hat. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, guys. Coach Schmidt will be in momentarily. Our locker room's open.